The Little Cog in the Very Big Machine. Written and illustrated by Dan Dart. Copyright 2018. Ebook and paperback can be found at Amazon.com, dandart.net, or simply checking the links in the description below. In a land far away, and unknown to many, was Cogville. In Cogville there lived many cogs. Some were skinny, some were big, some were short, and some were tall. Some were smart, and others were not so smart. It did not matter, because every cog was important. Every cog served a purpose, in his or her own special way. Some cogs worked in construction, some were bus drivers, others were teachers, and some were even factory workers. Every cog did their part to make sure the town ran efficiently. In the center of town was the big machine. That's where most of the town worked. The big machine was responsible for the whole town's heating, electric, and sewer systems. "Good morning, cogs. We hope all of you have a wonderful day," said the loudspeaker. "Today's lunch special includes fish sticks, with a side of either fries or baked potato." Parts would wear out often in the big machine and needed to be replaced. All the cogs in Cogville worked hard every single day. There were different manufacturing departments built right into the big machine. If something went wrong, it needed to be fixed right away. That's where Peter worked, right on the shop floor. Peter liked his job. He was responsible for making ejector pins for the big machine's sewer system. He was good at his job and made sure his work got done on time. The only problem was his new boss, Mr. Albert. He was very mean and would often give Peter a hard time for no reason.
"Hey, Peter, are those parts finished yet? They're waiting for them on the 5th floor," said Mr. Albert.
Not yet, Mr. Albert. These parts require special operations, which take longer to finish," said Peter.
"You should have been finished yesterday," said Mr. Albert. "That's why you're a small cog, Peter. You'll never be a big cog, like me."
Peter was shocked to hear Mr. Albert speak that way. "Well, someone woke up on the wrong side of the drive shaft this morning," said Susie. "You can sure say that again," said Peter. "Don't worry, Peter. You're the best operator on this floor. I'm sure Mr. Albert will see that eventually," said Kevin. "Thanks for the support, guys," said Peter. "Mr. Albert makes me so mad. I wish our old boss didn't have to retire. We got along so well." The next day, Peter was very busy at work. He had almost forgot about what happened with Mr. Albert the day before. Then, all of a sudden, Mr. Albert snuck up behind him.
"Are those parts finished yet?"
said Mr. Albert. "Yes, sir," said Peter. "I brought them up to the 5th floor myself."
"Good work," said Mr. Albert. "Maybe you aren't such a—"
Right before Mr. Albert could finish his sentence, Peter's machine caused a big accident and made an awfully loud noise.
"What happened to your machine?" said Mr. Albert.
I don't know, sir. It's been running fine all day," said Peter.
"Now I'm going to have to call the maintenance department to fix it. Do you realize how expensive that is going to be? What's wrong with you, Peter?" said Mr. Albert.
As time went on, Mr. Albert and Peter found it hard to get along. The more times Mr. Albert yelled, the more mistakes Peter made. Getting through the day became very hard for Peter. To find out what happens to Peter and his friends in the town of Cogville, you can purchase the ebook or paperback at these links. Thanks for watching.